Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. How are we doing on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning? How did you do this week? Did life do you or did you do life? All right, so let's see. Brandon will be in with us in just a moment here. Let me push this back some. There he is. Good morning, B. How is it going?
Good morning. Good morning. It's going good. Going
Good
good.
morning. Good morning. So, y'all,
Yeah.
I
This
woke up
morning.
at 6:40. Alarm
You were
clock
what?
went off. I turned it off and went back to sleep. I slept so hard and good last night. I could still hear the sleep in my voice.
Mm,
So,
I slept
but
good too.
yeah, I did. It's like I slept the woes of the week off. It was a different kind of sleep. No lotion. Didn't use anything, man. I slept so hard. So Miss Brenda says, good everything. Let's see if we can get Brenda, go ahead and read those and I'll get us set up here
Okay. Sounds good. Let me
with
make
you.
sure we got.
Okay, so let me go ahead and do it then while you are doing all of that. Good everything, everyone. Miss Brenda says, happy Saturday. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. And he says, got a special new client, teammate, joining me this morning for workouts. All right.
Nice. Nice.
That's what's up, Big Mike. Keep them coming. Keep them rolling, and keep them coming in and out. So how was y'all's yesterday? How was your yesterday?
Mine was good. Mine was good.
Yeah.
I had a great day. Yesterday I've been loving this kind of I guess random thunderstorm that comes through. I don't know if y'all got it down there
I don't know. I
in
don't. Yeah. I
Mississippi,
don't
but we
know.
had a little random kind of storm progression that came through. But it didn't do too bad. Just did some pretty light shows of lightning and thunder. Very very light rain, and then kind of passed us by. I mean, it went hard for a second, but it didn't do any damage or anything like that. And I ended up getting some time last night to just take a ride. I just got in my truck and took a ride around the city. When it was just very lightly raining, like very gently. So I used
Mhm.
that time to drive slow down the city and in different places, um, down memory lane a little bit. I was on the phone with my wife while I was doing it. And just driving slow and looking around. Got time to look at the buildings and see the changes in the city, um, instead of driving and having to look after and look for people. There was no one on the street, so I really enjoyed myself. Felt like I had the city to myself. I went
What
up and
time?
down.
What
It
time was this? If a mother may ask.
it was maybe like between 8:30 and 10:30, 11,
Oh,
something like that.
okay.
And I was
All right.
I think so, maybe, yeah, maybe even, yeah, about that. And I went up and down North Parkway just to look at the trees at night, just because the trees were kind of
Yeah.
glowing from the moonlight. But it's dark, of course. And it was raining, so the lighting was different, so I could see under the trees really well.
Mm.
I went downtown and saw some of the old buildings, and went to North Memphis. Saw some of the properties that we had worked on, and just saw the place at nighttime to see the difference. It's cool to look at places at nighttime differently, because it looks different. And I hadn't done that in a while, so I enjoyed myself though. I enjoyed myself
I
a
was
lot.
just thinking. I have not did that in a while either, Brandon. I used to. Um, and I was going to ask you. For me, looking back on it, it just was beautiful to get in my car and not have anywhere to really go, a destination. I'm going
Yeah,
just for the release. and I may not have looked at it as a release at that time, but just needing to be out, but not headed any particular place.
Just a joy
Yeah,
ride,
I
right?
just did it around the 240.
240
Right.
loop.
Yeah, I did that, and I'm sitting here asking you the time. I remember specifically one time I got up and did it pretty late and by myself, of course, but it was pretty late. It was about midnight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
so
best. I mean, honestly, I had a great time.
yeah, yeah,
Great time.
yeah. So, all right. Latasha says, "Good morning, family. Good morning to you, Tasha. Hope you guys are having a beautiful time there in Georgia. Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia. Come on, Brandon.
We got to get Tasha to sing it. Her
Yes.
beautiful voice. But
Yes.
y'all, thank y'all for joining us today. Welcome. It is what, Saturday? Yep, Saturday.
Yes. Saturday.
I had to think about it because I slept good too. I mean that I really, going out and riding around really helped me rest. When I came in,
Mm.
I was good and sleeping. So it was good. But thank y'all again for joining us and letting us be a part of your morning routine. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you can, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, please go over to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe under your username. And if you can, we got a couple minutes before we do the reading. Share this with someone. If it's on Facebook, find someone in your friends list to share this with. Post it on their page. Send it to it in a messenger to them. Say, hey, this is a great show. If you think it's a great show, or if not, it's cool too. But let them know about the show and tell them to come in and join us. And let's get this thing going.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
make it.
Anything from you, Mom? Hmm?
Nope. I think I'm
Nope. All right, good. All good. If
good.
my earpiece goes out, let me know, or I'll probably hear it. But I had it on last night, so and I'm looking for my other one, but I'll find it later. But I think this one might be getting low on battery. But anywho, welcome guys. If you don't have the book that we go through, or you don't know what we're doing here, we every morning for the last 215 some odd days, we have been reading through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success, an amazing insightful book by Dennis Kimbro. That's a very low cost book if you get it online, if you get it anywhere, but it's a very high value lesson and so many witticisms and inspirations that have been a great use to me, my mother, my wife, my family. A lot of people in the comments are my family that watch the show every day, so I appreciate y'all. And if it's just a family affair, then I'm grateful for just that. But we would love, because that's how our family does. We will, if we're eating, we're gonna invite everybody else to eat too. If you smell the barbecue and you look over the fence for too long, you're gonna get a plate, you're gonna get a drumstick thrown at you. Okay. So we're gonna ask you where you're from, who you are, what you do, why you're here. We know God guided you wherever you are. God has guided you to this particular moment. You are watching this show for a reason. So don't take it for granted. Squeeze everything out of that lemon that you can. We'll put some sugar on it, make some lemonade. All right. So a little bit more about this book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. So it helps you focus on those, right? In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, to cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So thank y'all for joining us, and we'll jump right into it. Mom, you got anything you wanna
Nope.
say before we
Nope. I
do it?
think nope. I think I might call. If I call it, I might spoil it. So I'm like, I'm gonna change that up. I ain't gonna say nothing today.
don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take it like Mike used to say, man, your mom, your grandma say, don't take no wooden nickels. So she always said that, and he said that, nickels ain't wooden. Don't take them. Don't take no wooden nickels.
Right.
And can't call it Mike's fault. I don't know what that means, but I feel it though. You know what I mean? Like if I had a multiple choice test, I bet you I'd get it right.
There you go. There
There we
you go.
go. All right, y'all. Well, let's see. Today is August the 31st, and our title is Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers. Martin Luther King Jr., the civil and human rights activist, said, wait means never. He said, wait means never. That's such a timely thing. Several years ago, a college professor and his wife were visiting the West Indies when the professor noticed a man sitting by the side of a river. Every time he passed this spot, he saw the same man. One day, the professor's curiosity got the best of him, and he asked the man why he spent all of his time in such a manner. The West Indian replied that he believed in reincarnation. According to his belief, we have all lived many times before, and we will live many times again. And then he said, this life, I'm sitting out. What happens to a person during his lifetime is in direct relation to the way he passes his days. Many of us wait for miracles from above. I've heard a number of people say, well, I'm ready. I'm just waiting for a sign from above. I'm ready to do God's will. I'm just waiting on the Lord. If these souls were indeed ready, they would be busy fulfilling their mission on earth. While cleaning out his desk, a man found a 10-year-old shoe repair ticket. Figuring that he had nothing to lose, he went to the shop and gave the ticket to the repairman, who began to search the back room for the unclaimed shoes. After several minutes, the owner reappeared and gave the ticket back to the man. What's wrong? Asked the man. Couldn't you find my shoes? Oh, I found them, replied the repairman, and they'll be ready next Friday. Like the above story, the repairman felt like waiting. The main thing that comes to a person who waits is regret for having waited. And so our affirmation and inspiration at the bottom of the page is, don't join people who watch and wait. You will lose nothing but time. Don't join people who watch and wait. You will lose nothing but time. Over to you, Mom.
All right. So wait. Wait means to stay where one is or delay action until a particular time or until something else happens. Say it again. Wait or to wait is to stay where one is or delay action until a particular time or until something happens. I left the word else happens until something pushes you right into action. Someone pushes you into action. Imagine going up to a house, going to see someone. They have a door, they have a doorbell, but you never ring the doorbell, you never press the doorbell, and you never knock. You wait for them to just assume or come out the door. Imagine the mindset of that. But if you really let it simmer, you would see that you're perhaps doing that in many ways in many areas of your life. You're getting in the car with an intention to go somewhere. You never crank it up, right? Or you crank it up, you never put it in drive. A form of waiting, right? Again, make it applicable to your life. I'll go here where it says, we'll start with a quote. Wait means never. In some instances, depending on the person, where they are, as for this person, he says, I'm going to sit this one out. He decided that he was going to be a spectator in his life. Y'all remember that word? It means that in every moment you live, there is a part of you. And let me go back, because when it says here, in every moment you live, it's not about how, because some people from the worldly eye seems as if though they are living, right? It says there's a part of you that's detached from yourself and views yourself disinterestedly, as though it wasn't really a moment concerning you. We talked about that a few days ago. I can't remember what title of the show that was. But this to me is a carry on from that. Weight Watchers. You're a spectator in your life. Um, again, this particular guy says, I'm waiting for a sign from above. They come every day, you guys. I'm going to tell you, they come every day. We can't serve a mighty God and not have a daily sign from God. Many, often, right? I feel he's given us so many on this show, down to where we talked about Tasha yesterday, um, allowing others to experience God's timing, God's speed. You know, every person that I've told that to, I shared it with my dad yesterday, and I just continue to see the blessings of everyone's story. Sharing it with my dad yesterday, um, ignited a conversation between us that was a blessing to me, right? So the blessings just keep going, keep going. Being a spectator in your life, you will find yourself waiting. I'm just waiting on God. I'm just waiting. We talked about not waiting on God, but waiting in God.
Mm.
Waiting in. There's truly a difference. Truly a difference. Unless God sent you to the bench and said, wait right there, then you're a spectator in your life. Because see, the story would be then is God told me, like the lady, you guys, like the lady that day when I was going for lunch, only had a little bit of money. I was going to go to the bookstore and read, and pass by the lady sitting at the bus stop. And God said, go over there and give us some money. Well, it was bigger than that, because God told her to wait. God told her to go out and do what he told her to do. And she didn't have money. But he said, I'll get you home.
Mm.
He said, I'll get you home. And he used little old me, little old broke me, to get her home. Now, if you know he used me, my little broke self, to get her home, that he blessed me even the more after that, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. And I'm going to tell you, I tried to avoid giving it. I tried to avoid it to all degree. But guess what? God had chose me for that day and had told her what he was going to do for her that day. She let go of her branch, as we talked about the other day. She left that house to go do God's work. And she sat right there on that bus stop, looking like she had the money, you know, like she's at the bus stop. Why do I, So it's a beautiful story. God's will for your life is a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful story. If we would just hear his voice and stop being a spectator in our own life, stop trying to hold on to the branch when he said or asked, okay, do you believe? Yes. Okay. Do you have faith? Yes, yes, strong faith. Okay, then let go of the branch. So it
Wait.
keeps going.
And then he waits. He's like, somebody else.
No, not only do we wait, is there somebody else up there?
Right. But I'm saying that doubt in itself
Oh,
is you
yeah.
waiting,
I'm
you know?
sorry. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So um, it's also interesting to me, and I'll turn it over to you, Brandon. The He says, let's see, da, 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 da. No, you know what, you guys? I done went back to the wrong one. Okay, so the guy took the ticket in after 10 years, I think. It was a 10-year-old shoe repair ticket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the shoes were not clean. They weren't ready. Did y'all get that in the story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's waiting. Imagine imagine taking a 10-year-old ticket in to get shoes. You would expect them to be cleaned and gone. Oh man, we got rid of those. We don't hold shoes that long. But our shoe repair guy must be a spectator in his own business or life too, to have some say, man, they ain't ready yet. They'll be ready next week. Not even the time. Not even addressing the 10-year-old ticket, or the shoes have been there 10 years and you didn't know.
Yeah.
How do you go find some 10-year-old shoes that somebody dropped off? How do you still have them? And
Yeah.
then on top of that, they're not clean because he's been waiting. Oh, I'll get them tomorrow. And then because no one shows up to get him, he's not and he didn't know that no one would come, but he's not in a rush to get them done. So imagine that, the effects of waiting. Oh, I'll wait and
Mm,
do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll wait and do this. I'm
mm,
guilty of it too. There's a song, you better choose tomorrow. I think tomorrow. Tomorrow, what I'm saying? You better choose the Lord today, because basically tomorrow
mm,
is not promised.
mm.
Tomorrow very well may be too late, is what it
Okay.
says. But how often today do we say tomorrow? I'll do that tomorrow. I love it when people say, God willing, I'll be there. God willing, I'll do this tomorrow. But if it's something you can do today, do it today. Don't stop waiting, watchers. Stop waiting, watchers, and stop looking, watchers. Stop looking at people waiting. This guy asked the question. You passed him a few times. Think about how many people pass this person and say nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
this one's like, what's going on? What do you? And then he gets the story. And it's interesting that he says, I'm going to wait this one out, this life. And I get it. Sometimes life pops on you so badly and so many times, you're like, what's the use? As soon as I get up and do something, I'm knocked back down.
Mm.
But if you are allowed to be knocked back down by God, right? That it's where you're supposed to be. Like I said, if God told this man, hey, go sit there, as he told the woman, and I'm going to get you the life. We're going to get your life started. And it could have been more about, then, will he wait? Will he do what I said do what I told him to do? In this case, he's doing what he wants to do. He's choosing, make the decision. I'm going to wait this life out. I don't like it. Take me. I'm just going to wait it out and wait till I come back. And he'll likely come back and do the same thing. So over to you, Brandon.
Well, thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. I like Dr. Martin Luther King's quote in the beginning there. It says, wait means never. So, and I think that was in reference to, you know, African Americans, Black people, whatever you want to call us, saying that we can't wait for liberty, we cannot wait for our rights, we cannot wait for justice, right? If there, justice is something that is incumbent and obligatory in a sense for us as human beings, because it's a right, right? The right of equality is a birthright, meaning when you're born, you have that right. So to be born and to be alive and not have
Hey,
that,
Brandon,
mhm.
Brandon, sorry.
Yeah,
Is your thing going out?
I don't know.
Is it going out?
Is it going
Is
out to
your
you? Can
is
you hear
your
me?
microphone? Well, I can.
Can you
I
hear me
don't
well?
know if yeah. It's kind of going in. You're going in and out. If that is that happening for anybody else out there? Is it just on my end? Because it just could be the the network or the internet. It could be.
Yeah,
But
let
I
us
know
know
you
in the
mentioned that.
comments.
Yeah, I noticed that you mentioned about it might be going out on you. So I
Right,
just wanted
right.
to make sure.
If it keeps doing that, just let me know and I'll take this off and just go regular.
Okay, Big Mike. Also, let us know what you guys are hearing there.
Yeah, y'all let me know. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, it's a birthright, meaning that yeah, they said they can hear me good. Okay, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. It's a birthright, meaning when you're born, you have that right. For anyone to take it away, or for you to be subjugated to a um, of anything less than liberty, self-determination, and life and the pursuit of happiness, then you must get it back. And not only that, you must defend it for anyone else, or you don't have it. So
Mm,
they say an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So it's like a cancer, a pariah. It's a contagion. If something isn't is if you don't have the if someone doesn't have justice or is being oppressed, then you open the door for more oppression to happen. So I agree with that, and I love that wait means never. Now, backing up a little bit to the title, Weight Watchers. If you guys know Weight Watchers, Miss Brenda, you can know about this. Mike, you know about this. Uh, even Sella, even myself, being a fighter, you think we're all super in shape and all these other things, or you, mom, and the things that you're going through with look, everyone's looking at their weight, right?
I
Everyone's
was just
watching.
typing that, Brandon. Oh, I'm not going to type it now. I was just typing that everybody's watching the. Wow. Okay. Let's back it out.
Every, everybody's watching their weight, but while you're watching that weight, you could have been getting that weight off or putting that weight on, whatever you're trying to do, right? You're looking at the numbers and the numbers looking at you, but ain't nothing changing when y'all looking at each other, right? So just wait, watchers. So the title is Wait, Wait, which is, an entendre for Weight, right? So you can't just sit there and watch weight. Watching the numbers on the scale won't help you change them. And even under that, weight doesn't designate health, right? So there's deeper meanings in these things. So I appreciate that title, Weight Watchers, because it's an entendre, right? When an entendre is something where one word can have dual, double, maybe even triple meanings, right? So, my mom, you kind of went um through the passage here and pointed out those things. I kind of want to just, take a step back to why are we waiting? What's the point of waiting? What's the return on investment for
Mm,
waiting? And what's the difference between being patient and persevering and waiting? So I've talked about this word before. The word in Arabic is sabr, and I like to reference Arabic, and I'll tell you guys why. It's because in my opinion, it's a very complete ancient language it's been around much longer than any of us, and most languages, older than most languages. And there's, I think, 12.5 million words in Arabic, where there's only about six to 700,000 in the English language. So you're comparing 12.5 million to 700,000. The ways of expressing yourself are a lot more in depth and dynamic and less linear. And so the word patience is the word sabr, but it also means to persevere. It also means to be taking a patient action, to be steadfast. So it's not patient as in just let me wait and sit on my hands, right? It's not that way. It's patient in the sense of I am putting my best foot forward and expecting to get somewhere. It's I am working diligently as I wait for an outcome or as I expect an outcome, but I'm
okay.
changing the environment around me. I am actively doing something while I am expecting an outcome or a return from that outcome, even if I don't have it right now, even if it's not immediate, right? So in the case of this man sitting and waiting, saying that he's going to sit this life out, he could be missing out on the joys of life, the passions of life, the lessons of life. Because if let's take most reincarnation, uh, religions and faiths and belief systems, and in many of them, there like Buddhists, for example, there's the institution, I would say, of karma. Whereas you are going to learn the lesson in either way. You are going to keep coming back until you learn that lesson. So when you said he'll come, if he comes back, he'll probably do the same thing. So that, if you don't remember, like, I'm not saying this is what I believe, but if you were in the last life, if you don't remember the past life, then how will you remember this life that you just waited? How do you know that the last life you didn't just wait and just wait and just wait? And so if you sit there and wait, the opportunity might pass you by. Like Mike said inside of the comment section, he said, "Time is undefeated. Time won't wait for anyone, no man or woman. We are all victims of time. If you sit around and wait, the windows of opportunity will close. If you wait too long to leave, you will be late to the party. You will be late to the meeting, right? If you sit around trying to pick out the perfect thing to wear, you know, to go to a meeting that has nothing to do, that's not a fashion meeting, right? If it's not a fashion meeting, then put on something and go to where you need to go. And life is the same way. We can dress up in all the nice clothes that we want. We can buy all the pretty things, all the materials. But if you are waiting to develop your character, if you are waiting to cure that disease in your heart, or to fix that relationship with somebody that you know you love, but you're waiting for that conversation, understand that you might not get that chance. There are people who are millionaires, multimillionaires, who I've heard. Actually, I actually heard this from a millionaire yesterday. He said, when I was 18 years old, I was richer than I am right now.
Hmm.
He said,
You're
I
going to
was richer.
explain, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, I was richer than I am right now. He said, I have hundreds of millions of dollars, or tens of millions, I think. Tens of millions, 100, I forget what he said. And, but I was richer when I was 18 because I had my father,
Oh.
I had my mother, and I would go days without speaking to my father. And my father didn't have a lot of money, but he had a wealth of knowledge. And there's so much that I could have gained that I had sitting there in the bank. And when he died, that wealth of knowledge, that resource went with him, right? And because you will, with all these relationships that you have, with all the time that you have, you will lose them. You will lose it. Time will not wait for you. When you are, I don't know if y'all family like my family. I was gonna say, when you're 60, 70 years old, and it's most likely that your mother and father won't be here. Now, if you're in our family, I don't know, because I got a 70-some-year-old grandma, and her mama was just here a couple years ago. So, but that's a blessing, and see it as that. See it as a mercy. See it as borrowed time, because really, that's what we're all on. We call it borrowed time only when we become aware of how short, and how fragile life is in the shadow of time. How fragile life is in the shadow of time, that it could be gone in an instant, in a flash, and it could be gone. So this millionaire said that I was wealthier then because I had my father, because I had my youth, right? There's going to be a time when it's harder to get up. And some of you guys might know this, and where you are in your stage of life. It's harder to have that energy. I was actually over at I was at Petey's house, mom, and I was over by the gym, and he had called her. I called one, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm over here out by your way." He's like, "Run by real quick." He's like, "Get you some water." He's like, "I got some good water." He's like, "Come over here and get you some water." And actually, we did run out of water at the gym. I was like, "All right, cool, I'm on the way." And so I stopped by really quick before going to pick up my son, and and a friend called, who not a friend, a client called, who's gonna pay me for work that I done, right? And they said that they had to leave at a certain time, but if I could, come there before this certain time, they could pay me today. And I was like, man, I just got here. I don't feel like going out to get it. He said, go get your money, son. he said, he said,
Tomorrow
go.
ain't promise.
Yeah.
They might spend it tonight.
He said, boy,
Wow.
anything could happen. And now they need that same money they were supposed to give you. But if it's in their pocket and not yours, they can control it, right?
Stairs.
And then, for a brief moment while I was, getting ready to leave out as quick as I came, he said, you know, while you're young and you're able to work, and able to do stuff, go ahead and do everything you can. Because, there might be a time when them bones don't move the same way or the energy don't hit you as soon as you just sip that first sip of coffee. You know what I mean? It might take a cup or two for you to lift a leg or two. So I took that and I thought about that, just how quickly life um, can change in a moment. So everything that we think we have, that we think we possess, that we think we own, we're just renting, we're just borrowing. And eventually, the one who gave it to us is going to say, hey, I need that back. And we don't have the choice to say, I will pay you tomorrow. We
Say
don't
that
have the
again,
choice to
Brandon.
say,
Say it
you
again.
know, what's
Say
that?
what you said again. Eventually, the one.
Oh, the eventually, like, we're on borrowed time, we're on borrowed favor, right? And eventually, like our life,
Mm-hmm,
eventually, the one who gave you
mm,
your life is going to say, I need that back. I need that back. Wa ilayhin nashur in Arabic. And surely to him we all return. And surely to him we all return. So we will return to the sender, as to quote one of our former titles in this book. We will return to sender, to the one that sent us here, and we have no choice. When people pass away, it's said in the Quran, or in the Hadith as well, in reference, that many will say, "Oh Lord, just send me back, send me back. I'm not ready. No, send me back, and I promise you, I will do everything. I will glorify you. I will do right. I will be just. I will fix this relationship. I will make that call. I will all these different things. But your time is up. Your time is up. So do what you can now. Do what you can now before not now is not, right? And know that we are passerbys in this life. I will say that we are passerbys in this life. But the true life, the life that doesn't end, the hereafter, is always just a breath away. Just a breath away. So you should, in my opinion, and the same millionaire said that he had a very interesting perspective. He said that I spend most of my money like I'm going to, he said I spend half of my money as if I'm going to live, another 50 years. And he said I spend the other half of my money as if I'm going to live for 50 more days. I thought that was interesting. He said I
mm,
spend half of my money like I'm going to live for 50 more years, and I spend the other half as if I'm going to live 50 days. So
mm,
he's saying he's going to enjoy himself, but
mm-hmm.
at the same time put something up for the future. So be balanced in your approach to time, and know that it ticks away. Don't waste your time idly. Do something productive with your time, right? So I don't want to be too long-winded on this, y'all, but the main part, I think the heaviest thing out of what I said that I want you all to remember is that you did not create yourself. You did not put the soul inside of this body. You will not be the one to take it away. And if you are, woe to you. But eventually,
Mm,
the one who sent you will need you back. You are borrowed right now. This earth, this space, this time, this experience is borrowing your body right now. Your soul is borrowing your vessel right now, right? And the soul that sent your soul will call your soul back and say, it's always a time. When you go and rent a car, I did a couple weeks ago, y'all. When you go rent a car, you get to pick it out. We didn't get to pick this one out, but you can pick out the one you want. You can drive in it, you can bump the system. You might like the way that it accelerates. You like how it feels on your back. And you got the heated seats, the cooling seats too, if you're super fancy, the tinted windows, the panoramic roof. It's nice. I like my body. I like the skinny muscles and I like it. But eventually, if I don't, Enterprise and already charged my card. And they charge you for the big bill. They rebate you back, anything that you don't spend. But eventually, if I don't return it, Enterprise is gonna come after me, right? I have to return that car, no matter how much I like it. You know, I could try to pay some costs, but who's gonna go and pay that full amount for that car? Life is even more than that. There is no amount that you can pay. All of your gold, all your silver, all of your wealth, all of your children, all of that was just a test for you. Your wealth, it says in the Quran, your children and your wealth are but a test to you. But when that day comes and the angel of death comes to take your soul from the nape of your neck out of your mouth, you will have no more time. And you will have to return that vessel to the earth from which it came. And you will not be able to go back. So take your time today and spend it wisely. All right? Because it will return to sender. And that's all I have to say. Back to you, Mom.
All right. So a couple of things, and I'll try to be quick here. Brandon, you mentioned something that made me think about how we wait to love, right? Particularly when you mentioned grandma, great grandma, for you. Um, it made me think about when we wait to love people, like to truly love and honor them while they're here, in whatever way that looks like for you, or for the relationship. Many things you don't see or feel until they're no longer here, right? Notice how when someone's gone, you start remembering really who they were and what they meant to you. Imagine if we could grasp that. Like the man said, he was richer at 18 because he had his mother and his father, and the wisdom that they had, if he would have tapped into it, could probably have made him richer, right? And not
Mm-hmm.
so much in wealth, but in spirit, right?
Yeah.
So let's practice not waiting, but being empty, right? When I'm coaching people, particularly as it relates to relationships, everyone thus far that I've told this, where they're trying to detach from the people that they have or trying to leave or have left from a relationship aspect, they'll say, I just want to talk to him. I haven't had many of the men say that, but the women, I just want to talk to him. I just want that. And I say, if you have the desire to talk to them, call them. Don't avoid the conversation, because
Mm-hmm.
this is what's going to happen. And this is why I'm going to tell you why I say this. Because if you give everyone, if you give, not everyone, if you give the people that you're in a relationship with 100% of you, if you are not basing the relationship or your actions on what they do, but you are showing them your love for them, when it hits you, when it's time to go, you have nothing on the table. And so if you've put everything on the table, and there's nothing else for you to give to this person or do for this person, it's easier for you to walk away. It's easier for you to say bye because you didn't wait on them. Remember the definition for the word wait. You didn't wait to stay where one is or delay action. You didn't delay your action of love to them, waiting on a particular time or something to happen, because that's truly not love, you guys. That's not healthy love. Let me say that. So I'll tell people that I'm coaching, be empty, go to work, do your very best. In spite of how much they're paying you, show up and do your job. And if there's enough time, do more. The same in your relationship. Show up, right? Do you. Do it regardless. Because when you get tired, there won't be anything for the person to say, well, you didn't. No, I did. I did all I can do. Because sometimes you have to tell people, hey, I did what I could do. I gave 100%. So if you've changed, the other person's going to have to benefit from that. I have nothing else to give, and all that I gave didn't work, right? So let's think about the different ways that we wait in life. Because as I read The Spectator, it means that every moment you live, there's a part of you that's detached from yourself and views yourself disinterestedly, as though it wasn't really a moment concerning you. So if this is you, then you are a spectator in everybody's life. Because if you're a spectator in yours, you're a spectator in someone else's. If you lie to yourself, you'll lie to me. If you're waiting in your life, you're not going to truly be able to be there for me. There's going to be some moments where I need you and I have to wait because you're not really 100% there. You're sitting on the bench waiting your life out. So how can you come when I call? Right? So you
Mom,
mentioned
I
about,
have. Oh, okay.
go ahead.
You go
Go
ahead,
ahead. No,
sweet.
no, no.
No, I
Because
was
I
just
got
saying.
mine written down. As you talk, I'm writing it down. You got to
Oh,
change it.
okay. I have one. I probably will. I don't know the other one is, but I did want to share something before this goes
Okay.
out.
Okay.
You said the types of things that we wait on. There's
Mm-hmm.
a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, that says that take advantage of five before five. Your youth before old age, your health before sickness, your wealth before poverty, and your free time before busyness, and your life before death.
Mm.
Okay.
Wow.
Your youth before old age, your health before sickness, your wealth before your poverty, and your free time before your busyness, and your life before death.
Send me
Okay.
those, Brandon, and I'll post them out there.
Okay. Okay. And the
Okay.
hadith is a reminder to seize opportunities in life and to use your time wisely for self-improvement, for righteous deeds, and for service to others, especially
Yeah.
those in need, you know. And it emphasizes that nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts
Mhm.
forever, you know.
Would you also mind sending y'all, the hadiths are it's like, to me, like proverbs, right? So if you'll send me where they can find, the hadiths. We also have a book for Miss Brenda. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Brenda, we'll have to figure out a way to get it to you. I think through Big Mike. But we're gonna get you guys out of here and just, Brenda, you were gonna show them something. I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was saying I got different books of hadith. This is a hadith Qudsi. Hadith al Qudsi means these are hadiths where it's so there's hadiths which are the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who is actually the most historicized person in the world. It's funny that we don't really learn about him, but there's more people in the world named after him than any other. It's the most common name in the entire world. And he's the person whose life was taken note of the most out of anyone. So when I say historicized or whatever, uh, there were literally people walking around him for the vast majority of his life, writing down every single thing that he did, everything from the way he sat to what he spoke about to how he was in the market, or how he was when he was here or there, his wives,
would speak about him, and everyone would write. He had scribes that literally wrote everything down to the point to where, and it's historical. He met with the kings of Abyssinia and Ethiopia. He met with and wrote to the Persians and the Romans, and these things are still around. So it's not a point of, did this person exist? It's a Time magazine said he was the most influential person of all time. Interestingly enough, but we don't learn about this in our little corner of the earth. But there's 2.2 billion people that attribute much to this person, and we don't worship Muhammad. Let me just make that out. We don't worship any of the prophets. We only worship God. But Hadith al-Qudsi is the hadith of the actual words of God. So we actually make sure to separate things, because he would have said that I was told that God said, and these were separate from what his own words were. We always keep those things distinct and different, right? And so you have Hadith al-Qudsi, and then you have the compilations of hadiths, which are enormous. I mean, anything from the foot, what foot you enter the bathroom with first, to how you wipe yourself, to how you eat, to how you should speak to your mother, to what you should say when you enter your home, to every detail of life is down packed, and we can have an example of how to do this. So that's what the hadiths are, and of course the Quran, we believe, is the actual words of God. It's not the words of men and the words of God and the words of the prophets. The Quran is actually a revelation, something that was revealed, that were the words of God. And Muhammad said, "These are not my words. Do not attribute these to me. This is not mine. For I've only heard and was told to say it." So just to show y'all what those things are. But I will send you that hadith, and Miss Brenda, we're gonna get you that Quran. And please don't think like any of this is to change what you guys think or whatever like that. It's similar to what Jesus said when he came. Nobody's coming to do away with the law. The laws of Moses are what we agree and read of. Moses is actually who's spoken of the most in the Quran out of all the prophets, interestingly enough, right? And the name Jesus is in the Quran 4 times more than the name Muhammad. The name Muhammad is only in there 5 times, I believe, and the name of Jesus is in there 20 something times or so. So this is we consider it the final testament to man before the day of judgment, right? So something that, in my opinion, we all need to reference. And why I reference it so much, because and like I told you a while ago, Mom, and I'll end off of this, that I love bringing water. I love, if you ask me for a glass of water, I'll get up and I'll go pour you a glass of water, and I'll bring it to you. But in the case that I'm not there, I would love to show you where the well is. I would love to show you where the well is, so you don't have to depend on me for the water. So Miss Brenda, she said, "Where's the well?" I'll have to get Miss Brenda. I'm gonna bring the well to you, God willing. So Mike hit me up last night and said that, "Hey, Miss Brenda really wants one. I have one, but she, I got to get her own." So I'll do that. And if anybody else needs one, let me know. I can get 50 of them at a time if need be.
Okay. So thank you for that information, Brandon. Don't forget to send me the information, and then I'll post it on this particular show. So I wanted to go back really quickly and say, you mentioned about, we will be late because we're, getting booed up, whatever, right?
Right.
It's deeper. It's deeper. Oftentimes, imagine we will be late, right? And it is all our fault. It is because of us that we know that we are late, right? You left the house 15 minutes later. And let's use the example of going to work. But when you get there, you are never mentioned. Oh, that traffic was bad. Oh, I got caught by every stoplight this morning. You avoid. You are the spectator in your life because you act as though it wasn't really a moment concerning you. Your being late had all to do with you, nothing to do with the traffic, right? My cousin Tasha is on here, and I remember when she had an interview at a job she stayed at for a long time. She was at the job hour and a half, 2 hours early because she knew she was in Atlanta and anything could happen. And Tasha, if I remember the story correctly, Pat at the time was like amazed that someone had that kind of character and integrity. And I don't believe Tasha was ever late to work. She would have to drive an hour or so in Atlanta traffic, but she was always get there about an hour early and sit in her car, sleep or read or something, right? But there's some folks like your girl used to be, woo, pushing it to the end and flying.
It's hereditary.
But you don't have to do what mama did.
I know. I'm getting better.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. But acknowledging it and not being that one to get to work and be like, oh, the traffic was so bad. No, you was bad. It was concerning you. Boo,
Yeah.
it was you. Right? Not planning the night before. And so before we go too long here, I'm gonna read this and then we can end it here. And this is a Gandhi quote. And I'm gonna piggyback a little bit because you guys, I will listen to people have a thing about Gandhi, right? I've listened to some Gandhi things, some things from Brand. Just I take what I receive. I take what hits me and fits me, right? And this says, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Be a student to life. And if you find you have time to wait in action. Maybe is a good way to say it. Wait in action. While you're sitting on that bench, instead of saying I'm going to sit this one out, pray this one out. Sit in God, right? Wait in God. Because if you have a thought that, hey, I'm just going to sit this one out, then you're saying God can't catch me if I even though he's telling me to let this branch go. He can't catch me. Is there somebody else up there? And if it's not, then I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just gonna sit here on this bench.
But that's crazy. Yeah.
But spectators, stop. Let go of the branch. God is asking you today and every day, what's the problem? There is someone here. What's the problem? Okay, I can help you. But first, do you believe? Second, do you have faith? Don't be the one that says, yes, yes, big faith, big faith. Okay, then, well, let go of the branch. Oh, there's somebody else up there. Don't want to do that. All right, so Weight Watchers, move, open your eyes, live, laugh, love, right? Conversations with Trent Friends says, master the art of saying goodbye. Our beautiful, I'll let you read the beautiful daughter in loves, Brandon. Can you see that?
She said, let's see.
I'll put it on the screen.
Oh, so the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is mentioned 4 times in the Quran, and Isa or Jesus is mentioned about 20-25 times.
And how many of you, just based on what you've been told, rather than seeking for yourself, that the name Jesus is not even in the thought process of a
35.
Muslim? Just think about that. You know.
Yeah. So more than 4 times. Stella said 35 times.
Right. Right. So I think we're caught up on the comments. I didn't say Auntie Richetta says hello. I want to make sure I acknowledge that she is listening. I think she may be traveling today. I don't know. Big Al Sal is in the house. Alvin Williams Jr., might I say. He says good morning. He was missing yesterday. We wrote him up yesterday for not checking in, but he's back today. So thank you guys for rocking with us. Brandon, over to you if you want to go ahead, and we'll get ready to close this baby out if you don't have anything else.
Yes, for sure. And I was still reading them comments. So said she was talking about Jesus said he is mentioned directly and indirectly in certain parts. And I was like, okay, yeah, because I was pretty sure it was like 20, 25 times, but she said 35 if you count I guess the other 10 times that he's mentioned indirectly. Because sometimes he's mentioned as Ibn Maryam, or the son of Mary, instead of directly by name, right? But yeah, let's close it out. Before me and my wife will sit here and start digging deep and researching and
Right.
for hours. But thank y'all
Hey,
so much for rocking
hey
with us.
Brandon,
Yeah.
for the men yesterday, I don't, especially you, Big Al, Trent, y'all go back and try to listen to yesterday's podcast because the question was asked, men, what does it look like for us as women to one of the passages says the greatest gift we can give the black male is to encourage him, affirm his presence, and help him if he needs to right his life, RIGHT. The affirmation was when I see, well, let me go back. Let's help our black men get it right, RIGHT. The affirmation was when I see a young brother on the streets, I will affirm his presence. I will smile and say, how are you doing, brother? We need you. So, to our men, we need you. How are you doing? But how do we help affirm you? How do we help you, RIGHT, write your life? I want to hear from you guys. Send me a message or drop it in the comment section of yesterday's show, right? Day 212. I want to hear it from you, particularly as we get ready to do this documentary, right? So over to you. I'm going to shut up.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for rocking with us on this Saturday morning. I hope y'all enjoy your weekend. Love on somebody. Go somewhere where you're not just tolerated, but you're celebrated. Get some love on yourself, and take some time for yourself, but don't take too much time to where you're sitting there waiting. Okay, go out there and be an action oriented person. There's something that you're looking for and waiting for. Don't wait for it to just fall out of the sky, but put your hands in the dirt if you have to, right? If you're waiting on rain to plant your seed ain't gonna get the rain it needs. Go ahead and plant that seed, and by the time it rains, it'll be there in place to grow roots. Okay, so today on August 31st, on our 213th day of the End of Season podcast, our title was Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers. And our quote of the day came from Martin Luther King, who said his inspiration was from none other than Gandhi. I read in his books. Dr. King said, "Wait means never!" Exclamation point. And our inspiration at the bottom of the page that we carry with us throughout the day, and that we want to repeat upon ourselves and to share with others, is don't join people who watch and wait. Don't join people who watch and wait. You'll lose nothing but time. You'll lose nothing but time. And time is everything. Time is everything, okay? So we'll leave it there for today, guys. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the End of Season podcast, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Love you. Peace.